Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be looking at the most important advanced concept in the SQL world or the SQL world, and though that is going to be joins. Okay, so I have covered the basics of writing SQL queries with an Excel perspective. So I would show the concept in Excel and then we would see how to do the same thing in SQL. So I've done all the basic videos right from starting from select to group by, order by, and all that. So if you haven't checked out those videos, I have left a link to the playlist in the description, so you can go check that out and follow along. All right, and if you're new to the channel, I would request you to please subscribe to the channel. Do look at all the videos, do comment on them, let me know what you think about these videos and what are the kind of videos I should be making on this channel. All right, so let us get back to the video. Now in today's video we are going to be looking at these two tables. There's an employee table and there's a department table. Okay, so I haven't written the names of that, but let's take it as employee table and department table. Okay, now in the real world you may not get everything in a single data set. If you go back to all the videos that I have done thus far across various concepts, everything is there in one single data set, nice and clean and ready to go. Okay, but in the real world you may get more than one table. You may get 4 tables, 5 tables, and it becomes your duty to understand what is being asked of you, what tables do I need to combine, and how I will get the result that I need. Okay, so for that it becomes very imperative to understand how the tables are structured, what are the commonalities, what tables need to be joined to get the desired result, and so on. Okay, so we are not going to be looking at a very complex scenario here. We're just going to be looking at joins at a very simple level. What are joins? Because if you understand this at the most basic level, it becomes much easier to apply it elsewhere. All right, so we'll look at the 4 major types of joins with these 2 examples, and then as and when we do more concepts, we will come across joins and all those things. So you will then see how these things are then applied across different situations. So maybe I'll make more videos on that if you keep supporting, and if you keep commenting, and if you keep liking the videos that I have made thus far. All right, so let's look at these 2 tables. So we have the employee table and the department table, and now what we're going to be doing is we are going to join these 2 tables. Now what is joining 2 tables? Joining 2 tables is where there is a mutual column. There is a column that is common to both tables, or there is a column that's common to 3 tables or 4 tables, and using that one column you are bringing tables together because the information is scattered across various tables. Now for example, you have employee ID and you have employee name in one table, but you have employee department in another table. Okay, so if I want to know which employee belongs to which department, I need to join these 2 tables. Okay, yeah, here it is Excel, so whatever, you can just bring them here and do all kinds of things. But in the SQL world, because you're dealing with databases, you have to do it in a specific way, and joins are the way to do that. Okay, so what's the first thing you need to understand about joins? You need to understand what is the common column. So if you see here, we have employee ID as the common column over here. Okay, so both are named also the same, but the name does not matter. Okay, the name of the column does not matter as long as the values inside it are those that match. Okay, now from this view we see that there's a 2 and there is a 3, and there is a 2 and there is a 3 here as well. Okay, which means this Bob and this Charlie belong to HR and finance respectively. It's very easy to make out because they share the same employee ID in both ways. Now when you join them, you need to bring these 2 names beside these 2, so that you have employee ID, you have the employee name, and then you also have the employee department all in a single table. And because you put them in a single table, it becomes easier for you to do your further analysis as well. Cool. So now we are going to see how do we do that here. Okay, if you look at the types of joins, we have 4 types of joins. Okay, so we have the left, we have the right, we have inner, and we have outer, or also called full outer. Okay, These are the four main types of joins, and there are a couple others as well, but we will only look at these four, and these are the most important ones as well. And now I'm going to show you what the difference between all these joins are. Cool. So in the Excel world, the joins are very simple. It's essentially writing a lookup and trying to get those values side by side, correct? So because you have a 2 3 year and a 2 3 year, you're trying to bring these values over here. Okay, so what would you generally do? You would generally do a VLOOKUP and you would get those values. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an XLOOKUP. Okay, so search key is going to be this because this is what we are matching it against. Lookup range is this. This is what we're looking up against. Result range is this because this is the output I want based on the match done here. And then I'm going to say null. I'm going to say null for those which do not match any of the IDs. Alright, so if you see here, let me just expand this a little bit so that, yeah, I think. One second, let me just expand this a little more. Yeah, okay, so if you see here, I've written the XLOOKUP formula, and now you see there is a null. And if I just drag this now, you can see that this 2 and 3 are now matching because you have HR and finance coming together. And the other two are null. The other two are null. Why? Because nothing is matching against them. Okay, so this is what is the essence of a basic join. You are joining now all of them to get them into a single table. Right? Now what kind of a join is this? Okay, is this a left join, a right join, an inner join, or an outer join? Okay, so let us look at what each of those mean. But before that, I want to show you what will happen if I take it the other way around. Okay, so if you're looking at a left join, this is what a left join is, because I have put this as left and this as right. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to join this table to this, essentially like this. Okay, so let's see if I can bring a little arrow mark over here, and then we can use that and make our point more clearer. Shapes, yes, this is the one. Yeah. Okay, so with left what we are doing is we are essentially rotating this. We are actually saying, okay, we are joining this table to this table like this. Okay, we are joining this table to this table. So this becomes important. All the values become important here, and only the values that get matched come here. But in this case, the values that don't match are also here. See this. So you have null and null coming over here. So this is basically the product of a left join. To do a right join, it's the other way around. To do a right join, you just use the right table as your primary table and the left table as your secondary table. Oops. Let's bring this like this. Oh, 1 second, let me bring it like this. Yeah. Okay, like this. Okay, so we are bringing this table over here. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Whatever lookup I added here, I'm going to add it over here. So X lookup, same thing. This is the key, this is the range, this is the output. Oh sorry, this is not going to be the range. I'm sorry. We are going to get the employee name because we have employee department, employee ID and the department. We need the employee name. So it's going to be this, comma this, and whatever doesn't match, it's going to be null. Right? So now I get these values over here. And again, you can see that there is a null. There is a null value, right? Because there is no employee ID 5 in this list, whereas it's there in this list. So this is an example of a left join, and this is an example of a right join. Okay, it depends on which table are you putting primarily. So if this is your primary table, you are bringing this value over here. If you are using this as your primary table, you are bringing a new value from here to here within a single table. Okay, so that's what a left and a right join look like. And now if you want to understand what is an inner join, okay, if you want to understand what is an inner join, well, everything's going to be the same, just that you will not have some values over here. In an inner join, you are only going to get this as the output. Why? Because an inner join is where only those values are shown in the table that match both the tables. In this case, we have 2 and 3, 2 and 3. So it's only these values that are going to be part of this table. So essentially, the output is going to be just me filtering out the nulls. This is going to be the output of an inner join. You are only getting those values that are common. You are not getting the others. You are not getting all the other values where the department value is null. Same way on the other side as well, right? Same way on the other side. In an inner join, this value goes away. It's only going to be this as your output. So whatever is common only will come together. The other values get excluded. Okay. And then the last one is outer join. In outer join, what happens is you're bringing all the values together. Whether they match, whether they don't match, it doesn't matter. Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. If you see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4 here as well. And if you're doing a full outer join, okay, even this 5 will come over here. Okay, that's it. This is what a full outer join is going to look like, because whatever IDs are there, now we have distinct IDs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is a 5 in the other table. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are already matched, out of which only 2 and 3 have department names, 1 and 4 have no department names, and 5 also has no 5 has no employee name, but it has a department name, but it is still part of this table. So this is the output of a full outer join. Okay, so let's look at it once again. Left join is when you're putting the left as the primary table with all the values intact, and you're using the right values. Whatever column is there in the right, you're bringing them here along with the nulls. Whatever IDs match, only those IDs will come over here. Okay, in the right side, it's the other way around. You're taking the right table and you're moving it from here. In the inner join, you're joining two tables, and only those values who have a match, only that will get output. Okay, and the full outer join, you're getting all the values, all the unique distinct IDs in the primary key will come over here. Okay, so just before we head to the SQL section, I just want to highlight the word called primary key. So the primary key is a column where you have all the values as distinct values, and that is being used to do a one-on-one match. So this could be either a one-on-one match or a one-to-many match, depending on the scenario. In this case, it's going to be a one-on-one match because employee ID 2 Bob matches employee ID HR. Employee ID 3 Charlie matches employee ID finance. So it's a one-on-one match. Okay, so in this case we are doing a one-on-one match, but maybe we will explore one-to-many, many-to-one relationships in another video. Okay, but essentially a primary key is one where you are able to do one-to-one relationships or one-to-many relationships depending on the scenario, and in most cases this is going to be your ID, order ID, employee ID, or so on and so forth, where the values are more distinct and it's easier to make a join. Alright, so this is how it looks on the spreadsheet. Now let us go to SQL and see how do we execute this. Alrighty, so I have this two tables already added over here. So one is the employees and one is the departments. So let me just quickly write one table to show you. So see, that's our employees table. Okay, and then you also have your departments. If I execute both, you're going to get both the tables. Okay, now to do the first join, that is the left join, right? We're doing the left join where we brought this table first and this table second, and we're trying to bring this department into this table. Okay, so let's try and do that. I'm just going to remove this and I'm going to say select. So in this case, I would rather use a star, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use only employee name and department. Only these two columns I'm going to use and output it. Okay, and I'll tell you in some time why I'm doing that. So to call this employee name from this table and department from this table, we need to alias it. Alias it, why? Because we are giving them let's say a label that this column comes from this table and the other column comes from the other table. Okay, so to do that, I'll say E as employee. So I'm going to say E dot employee name. Okay, employee name. Okay, I think it's single, so I'm going to keep it like this. And then I'm going to say department. So D dot department. Okay, and now because I'm taking the employee table as the left table, so I'm going to say from employee, employees is the name, employees as E. So what I'm saying is select this from employees as E. Why? Because I want to specify what this E is. So when I'm calling the table in the from statement, from employees as E. Alright. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do first a left join. Okay, so I'm going to say left join. So this will come after you write the select statement where you include the columns from both the tables. You call from this one table you call with the alias, and then you write the join statement. So left join. What are you going to join this table with? The departments table. So I'm going to say left join departments as D. So I have to specify this as well because there is a D over here. So I am saying left join departments as D on. Okay, so now I have to specify how are we going to join. Sure, you're pulling columns from this table and you want to do a left join with this table, but how are you going to join them? You're going to join them using the employee ID. Okay, so you will specify that after the on. So left join departments as D on E dot employee ID is equal to D dot employee ID. Okay, so now I have said E dot employee ID is equal to D dot employee ID. Okay, like I mentioned, the name does not matter. If the name is different in this other column, you will write the name as is, but you ensure that the alias is correct and you know that it's that the values that you need to join are there within the same column. So if I run this, there is an error. That's because I'm putting it as an underscore, which is not correct. Alright, so you can see that the output matches what we got over here earlier. Correct? If this is the full outer join output, I'm just going to keep it here. So see, we got 2 and 3 as matching with the departments and the other 2 as null. Correct? So that's what we are getting now. So this is the left join that has happened. Okay, similarly, if I do a right join. Now to do a right join, what I need to do is I have to change the order. Okay, if employees was my left table here, departments was my right table. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say departments as D. So departments becomes my right table, and employee becomes my left table. Employees becomes my left table. This order does not matter. Only this order matters. This order can be the same that we have written over here. So let's execute this. Specified multiple times in a from clause. Departments as D. Right join employees as D on. Okay, so I'm just going to change this as well and see where the issue is coming. E dot employee name could not be found. E dot employee name. Oh, okay, this is the error. I'm sorry, I did not change the alias from departments as D, right join employees as E. Got it. Okay, so you can see now that this output matches what we got earlier over here, right, where we say 2 and 3 is HR and the other value is null. Okay, but you also realize that Alice and David have also come, so the other values have also come over here. So it's the same output, but it's only reversed. All right. Now what if I do an inner join? Okay, let's go back to employees being here and departments being there. Okay, so employees as E and departments as D, and I'm going to make this as inner join. So even if you write it as join, if I just write it as join, it's by default an inner join. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to write it as inner join. And now you can see only two values pop up, HR and finance, which is what I mentioned. If I filter these two out, it's only going to be these two that will come as the inner join output. And that's exactly what we are getting. And now if I do a full outer join, you can see we have all the values, right? This value matches what we got in the left join, and then we have the ID 5 as well. So basically whatever 5 employee IDs that we had in both the tables, everything is coming, whether they are able to match against any department or not. So you're bringing all the values together in a single table. Alright, so a very simple concepts, but I think it will require some practice and some understanding as to how the data changes after you write a join column and how the data gets visualized post the join. And now how do you decide what join is good for you in your case? So it depends on what kind of output you're looking for. If you're looking only at matching values, if you only want the rows that are matching and you want to exclude everything else, then you have to go for an inner join. Okay, but anywhere else you want, let's say if you're doing a join and you want the values to come even if it is a null, then a left join, right join will work just fine. So left join and right join are practically the same, just that the tables are interchanged. So usually you would use either a left join, an inner join, or a full outer join. In a full outer join, you want all the unique values, all the values attached, and then irrespective of whether they match against anything or not. Alright, so that's the simple demonstration of how to do joins on this one, and we will do some more work on this and understand maybe with a case study on, okay, we have, let's say, a data set when we're trying to join tables to get some analysis done and things like that. So we will look at more such concepts of this, but this is basically a basic video on showing how joins do work. Now apart from these 4 joins, there are other kinds of joins as well, such as cross join and self join and all those things. So maybe I'll make a separate video on that later. Essentially a cross join is just multiplying. So if I add a cross join over here, let's say I do a cross join. We don't need this for a cross join. It's just going to be this. So if you see here, everything gets multiplied. So I'm just going to say select star so that we take all the columns. And you can see here, this is what a cross join does. It gets multiplied. It's not joining. There is no joining that's happening. What exactly happens is every entity in the table gets multiplied to each value. So a 2 and an HR gets to everything. A 3 and a finance, all the employees. A 5 and an IT, all the employees. Okay, so this is not an ideal situation for a cross join, okay, because the output makes no sense. But there are instances where you want to assign every value in the second table to all the values in the first table, and that is where a cross join will actually work. Okay, but this is only for demonstration purpose that I've shown you why how a cross join looks like and why it does not make any sense in this context that we are working with. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you can go back and watch this again to kind of understand what we have done in the entire video. Please do like this video, please do comment and let me know if this was clear, if this was helpful, if your friends whom you have shared this with found this helpful. Do let me know on that. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I have a lot more videos lined up coming your way. I have a lot of short videos as well coming, which I want to add into this channel and help you navigate from the spreadsheet world into using other tools too. So lots more to come on this channel, and I want you to stay updated on that. So please do subscribe, please do like all the videos, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.